Hiya Stitchy friends, my name is April. I am the owner of Creative Cuts and Crafts. It is my new shop on Etsy, and it all started with Crossstitch. So a few years ago I got a laser cutter for Christmas, but although I love, wood things and engraving and everything like that, it was just a supplement for my cross-stitching hobby. So what a laser cutter does is it precisely cuts and engraves wooden pieces. So I fell in love with cross-stitch with the frames that I could glue together that were wooden and then finish like my small pieces with. But I wanted to design my own, so I did. So in my shop you can find things like this. Things that I'm going to put like a little magnet here so I can interchange it, but you'll see there's scoring lines on there so that you can precisely line up all of the different layers. You can paint them whatever color you want. So I've got lots of plans, but so there's one. I've also got this pretty circle frame. It's like a daisy, but I'm a bright, colorful, sunshiny person. I love gardening and flowers and everything like that. So this is one that you can honestly do this a couple of different ways. You can have just one big flower. You can have a flower in a ring, or a double type flower. And I've also got this rectangular scallop. This actually fits the new Primrose Cottage, their Free Friday release that was a Valentine's pattern. It fits in this perfectly, and like those are my colors, the teal and pink and everything. I've got the pattern, I just need to stitch it. And then sort of the latest thing, this actually just came off the laser yesterday or today. I've got a tobacco basket, and I put these little side handles on there so you can either display it this way or you can even like hang it on the wall this way. So it's kind of cute, and it's 3 layers. So once again, this one you probably want to just like stain it, make it look like a tobacco basket. But anyways, so it doesn't end there. Like, I like frames for my cross stitch pieces, but I am a sucker when it comes to like notions. So I like a good old corner gauge. Let's see, that one, it's got my logo in the top. It's got the 1 inch, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and then the corner here would be 3 inch. And it's also got the some of the different counts for your fabrics. I've got a pattern keeper. Let's see. Little focus. There we go. So a pattern keeper. This one you can use to like keep what grid you're on, and it's got really high rare earth magnets on the back, so that's very strong. And me personally, I use line keepers, so I don't use a corner one like that, so I use line keepers. So I've got different kinds. Nobody wants a frog, right? So shoe frog don't bother me. And I've just got some other ones. Procrastinating like a boss. Enjoy every stitch. Hello, beautiful. And just one more stitch. So, fun stuff. Also, I'm a nerd. Like, I'm a nerd. I'm a science nerd. I actually went to school for different types of biology, but avian biology first for my bachelor's, and then plant stuff for my master's. So I'm a science nerd, but I'm also like a nerd. Like, I'm a Harry Potter nerd. So I'm gonna have Harry Potter stuff in there. Of course, I like gardening, so there's some ladybugs. I'm also a romantasy nerd. I'm a book nerd. So if you know, you know. This is ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, that series by Sarah J. Maas. I also love Fourth Wing. So good. And Star Wars. my brother was probably the biggest Star Wars fan that I knew, and then my husband is also a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so you know, it kind of goes. Let's see. I've also got, if any of you like stitching on the perforated paper or PVC now, I've got these magnetic frames that you can stitch in. So these are also Fourth Wing themed, and it's just got some cute little, like a little heart stitched and needle, and a smaller version of my logo, and then a little spool. It'll focus on that. But yes, so there's these square ones, and there's two larger sizes of these. I just don't have them with me right now, but this small one fits a lot of the Mill Hill ornament sizes, and then there's also one that fits the regular sort of standard Mill Hill, and even the stick Mill Hill kits, like the huge ones. So I've got ones that fit all of those. I've also got rectangular ones. So here we've got like a Harry Potter one, and another Star Wars thing. So those are fun. And how they work, if you don't know, I've just got this little Mill Hill snow globe kit, and it comes with perforated paper, now PVC, which they're kind of the same. I haven't actually stitched on the PVC, but I have like felt it and looked at it in a store, and it was kind of the same. It's probably even better than this, because if you pull your threads really, really tight on this, it can break the PVC or the perforated paper whole. So maybe the PVC is better. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But anyways, to do this, all you have to do, this slides apart just like that. You put your perforated paper in there just like so, and see if I can do this sideways. It just kind of clicks in place. So now this is like super, super tight, super tight. See, it's not coming out. So you can stitch like this, and if you want to, you can even frame your pieces like this. Like a lot of people will just use this as a frame. So if you stitch something that is Harry Potter related, stitch it, and there you go. It's already framed. Nice. All right, what do we have next? So anyways, that's my shop. That's why I'm here. I'm not typically one to be in front of the camera or anything like that, but I've gotten lots of encouragement, and I really appreciate it. And so I thought that I would join in on the chaos. So that's why I'm here. And yeah, the laser cutting thing is very much a supplement for my cross stitch. The next thing that I'll show you is probably my all-time weakness for cross stitch, and that's needle minders. So I'm also designing, in my store you'll see a ton of needle minders, and it's constantly growing. So there's a little snitch, or golden snitch, Harry Potter fans. I've also got some cute little just stitchy ones, taking life one stitch at a time. These would make excellent like retreat gifts if you're going to retreats. All you need is love. Of course, I was singing the song the entire time I was designing this one and cutting it, so that was fun. I'll show you some more later, but there's actually some that I just finished creating. They haven't even hit the store yet, so I thought I would share those with you. Some more Star Wars here. Of course, some of my favorite characters are the droids. So, BB-8, R2, yep. And then, if anybody knows Ahsoka, she's my girl. I am no Jedi. And we're all getting our patriotic stitches in, right, for the 250th. So I've got a star with stars within it and stripes in the background. So all of those will be coming to the store very soon. Okay, so about me and my stitching journey. I was taught by my mom how to stitch when I was around 11 or 12 years old. And my grandmother also stitched, and so it was just a lot of fun. It was something for me and my mom to do all the time, and we definitely still do now, even more so, I guess. And so I think the first thing I ever stitched, I had to kind of ask my mom about this too. I was like, what was the first thing that I ever did? Because I didn't really remember. I remember the first big thing that I did, but not the first actual stitch. So I think I found it, which y'all are gonna laugh. This is still not fully finished. I am way past 11 or 12 now, and this is still not fully finished, so y'all forgive me. Maybe I can use one of my new frames to finish this, but this is it. This is I Love Grandma, and this is actually, it was in the Leisure Arts book, actually, back in the book days, booklet days. But yeah, so this is probably an 11 or 14 count fabric. You'll see I'm using some of my needle minders to hold up on my project board here. But yes, this was stitched for my grandma, and I did give it to her, but I just never fully finished it. So I have it back now. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us, but I was able to keep that piece, and I will always remember her with it. But this is what it was from. It was Leisure Arts, Teach Me to Stitch. I honestly think that I stitched this cat too, but I don't know where it is. No clue. That was a long time ago, like I said. So anyways, so yes, I stitched that. Was probably in 2000, 2001, and it's not fully finished. Oh well, that's okay. Moving on. So, the first, like, huge thing that I stitched, but, like, because from there, I just went, yep, I love stitching. This is fun. And, of course, Mom was all about it. So, the first big thing that I stitched is this. Now, granted, remember, I'm 11 or 12 years old, okay? This is the Earth Dancer. It is by Butternut Road. And yeah, I was happy. I caught the bug. I caught the big old stitchy bug. Sorry, there's glare from the ring light, but, and I did it all. I did the beads, everything. Also, I actually finished it in 2002. You can see my little initials there. But yes. So good. I love it. It is still hanging in my house now. But yes, love this. Does anybody remember the Cats show? The Creative Arts and Textiles show? It was, I think it was put on by Marilyn from Stony Creek back in the day. That piece went with me there to put on, like, the brag table. But I went to that show, I believe, twice, in 2002 and 2003, or maybe it was 2003 and 2004. But I was in middle school, I remember, and I actually took that into my classroom to let my teacher know that I'm going on vacation. Like, I'm taking some days off. I'm sorry, I'm going to be sick. And I'm going to a cross-stitch show. So yeah, that was the only one that I knew of back in the day. Mom and I both tried to look into it, and even asked in our local needlework store that was, well, it was cross-stitch, but we tried to ask there, and that was like all that they knew of as well. So it was so much fun, and I still actually have projects from there, and like fabric and stuff that I got there. They did classes. They had a ton of vendors there, and it wasn't necessarily all cross stitch, but a lot of it was. So they had I went twice, but both times my mom and I and the friend that we went with, we got the huge projects that were like show exclusive, all that kind of stuff. and I will have to show you those sometime because they are extravagant. And I think one of them is like Joy, but they're huge samplers. I haven't touched them, but they're so pretty. I would love to, maybe one day. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, so I don't know. When I was in middle school, I stitched a lot. When I was in high school, I stitched some. I was a majorette in high school, so I became like a lot more busy and social and everything. I was also like, you know, lots of school stuff, A+ student, all that. Then college, lots more work. Then got married and moved away, and then years later went back and got my master's, like all this kind of stuff. So I didn't stitch much. I got into crochet because that was more of a, you don't really have to think about it as much, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I took a little break from cross-stitch. But I am back. My mom never stopped stitching. And then I moved back to like home area. My husband was in the Air Force, so we were hopping around a little bit and just away from home. So when we got to move back home here, like where I grew up, my mom is here and she got me back into stitching, and I'm very thankful. So the first, I don't know, like the first thing, I went to a tiny cross-stitch shop. Like it just had like a corner of stitching stuff, and I saw needle minders. I saw like the little ladybug threaders with the light on it. I was like, so much has changed. There's so much cool stuff. So I'm excited. Even just like, okay, that's notions, right? And then there's so many more designers. And oh my gosh, the fabric and over-dyed floss. Like all this stuff was pretty new to me. Like they had over-dyed floss and the specialty floss and all that kind of stuff. But I mostly stitched with DMC, except, you know, the Earth Dancer had some of the whisper thread and suede thread and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I just knew DMC. And the fabric, there were some over-dyed fabrics, but there was still a lot of crunchy Aida. So I was very excited coming back into cross-stitch and also seeing all kinds of new designers. Oh my gosh, all of the different, I like science, obviously, so, and nature and gardening and things like that. So seeing all of those kinds of patterns out there, I was like, wow, this is cool. I'm gonna be sucked back in real quick. So I was. The best way to like maybe show you my style and introduce you to my kind of stitching and what I like, and I mean, if it's kind of all over the place, you'll see, because what I've decided to do is a finishing parade. I know that one way to get to know a stitcher is a whip parade, and that might come, we'll see, but I think the best way is to show you my finishes just from last year. So let's get started with that. The first one, and I did at least iron, but not everything is fully finished, and because I like to stitch in the season, like a lot of us. So my sort of grace to myself, we'll say, is that I can stitch it this season and it will be fully finished by next season. That's at least the goal. Except, you know, I Love Grandma is 20 years old or so. 30? Yeah, 30. Over 30 years old. And it's not fully finished. Okay. Anyways, so we're going to go in order from my first finish in 2025. And I'll try and tell you I use Xstitch, thankfully, the app, to keep up with a lot of my stuff. So the start dates, the finish dates I usually have, unless it's a really old whip. I still have some whips that were started back in, I don't remember what my oldest one is, probably 2004 or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. But that could be in a whip parade next. We'll see. So anyways, so Xstitch helps me keep up with a lot of this, and I've been trying to be diligent and put the fabrics, and if I changed any floss, then that information is in there as well. So let's get started. The first one that I finished, and you'll see in just a minute that I did not have a lot of finishes in the first of the year. But you'll maybe see why. I'll explain it in a minute. You'll see. So my first finish wasn't until June of 2023. I actually started this at StitchCon. I love StitchCon. Mom and I have been now for the last 3 years, and we've loved it every single year. We meet new people, and some are like now our best stitchy friends ever. But what we've started to do is every single day that we are there for StitchCon, we start a new project. I know, it's crazy. Anyways, it's fun. So, the first one is Love Grows Here. Oh, ring light. Okay. Love Grows Here, maybe. Let's see. Is it better this way? I don't know. I'll have to figure out where to place that ring light a bit better. Whoop. Nope. Okay. Although I get the blinds that way. Love Grows Here. Y'all get the picture. So this is by Primrose Cottage. And like I said, I started this at StitchCon of last year. And I finished it June 23rd. This is on 28 count Sky by Crossed Wing Studio, or Crossed Wing Collection. And I used the called for floss, which was DMC, except I did change that purple DMC 29 to 550. It's just a little darker for me. I like it. And the frame I got at Hobby Lobby. So yeah. Some of my pieces do have glass on them. It's probably about 50-50 on whether or not they have glass on them. I have 3 cats and a very large Doberman dog. So there's lots of fur in the house. So that's what I do to try and keep out some of the glitter. So yeah. But yeah, this is super cute. Also, I'm sure that some of y'all have ways of keeping up. I have X-Stitch to keep up with stuff, but also I realized that someday my pieces are not going to be with me. So what I've done is I put these library cards in there. And it actually has, I just put the information on there for them. That way I can easily, if people have questions or if they want to know who stitched it or whatever, my name and information is on the back. It helps me remember too, because I don't have a great memory sometimes. Alright, so next, this is why I did not have a finish until June of last year. I was focused. Focus. When I first came back to Crossstitch, it was Crossstitch patterns now, which I'm a huge fan. Huge fan of Harry Potter. So when I realized that there was Harry Potter Crossstitch, I had to. And my favorite character in all of Harry Potter is Hedwig. So this next piece was my focus starting in February of 2023 until, when did I finish? July 31st of 2025. That's what happens to be Harry Potter's birthday for the muggles out there. This is Hedwig. So this is by Tilton Crafts. Sorry about the ring light. But yes. Oh, it's so good. This took so much work. This was, of course, it is full coverage. And, yep, I did it on 25 count white Lugana, 1/1 full cross. And I love it. It's so good. Full coverage is one of those that, you know, as you stitch it, because I started up here, just like in the sky area. It took me so long just to see anything. Like, I think it was probably a month before I even got to the castle. So, which I'm not the fastest stitcher by any means, and I take my time. I enjoy every stitch, I really do. So it took me a long time just to see anything. I think I even took this to StitchCon the first year that we went in 2020. It was 2023. Yeah. So I took it there the first year, and it was so cool because the next year some of the same friends that we made were like, how's Hedwig coming? And I was like, she's coming along. But this year you might be seeing her on the brag table because I just can't. I'm so excited. But she's hanging up in my hall now. I spent the money and I did get this professionally framed at our local frame shop. So that was a nice big bulky frame, but I love it. I love it. So that was my number 2 finish. The next finish I don't have with me. It is actually a Christmas piece. I did some Christmas in July stitching. So that's called Flaky Friend, and it's by Lori Birmingham Designs. It's a very old pattern. But I started it July 21st. My mom and I went on a trip to Accents and Stitches in Louisiana, and we just like to start things a lot. We finish them too, but we like to start a lot. So even when we go on these like little trips to different stores and stuff, we're like, oh, we need to start something while we're there. So just to it's kind of just to commemorate the trip, I guess. So I started Flaky Friend there, and I will insert pictures of it. It's really cute. I used the kit that I got from a long time ago. It came with this, it came with a heart-shaped box sort of thing. So yeah, anyways, you'll see, it was cute. So I'll insert pictures. Anyway, so I finished that on August 2nd of 2025. The next one is a Classic Christmas by Hands On Design. Let me just get it here. Okay. Alright, so of course this one is not fully finished yet. This is a Classic Christmas, Hands On Design. I started this July 1st. It was a Christmas in July start with my mom and Chris and Victoria from Stitchy Fix. They were some friends that we made while we were at StitchCon this year, and they've been amazing. They're so much fun. We hit it off right from the start at StitchCon, so we're all about Christmas too. So we love Christmas, and so we had a lot of fun starting this with them. I used 28 count Crystal Legacy by Picture This Plus, and this I started July 1st. I actually finished it August 16th, and so it's not finished, right? But I bought the little like the wooden stuff from Chantil 141. She actually has like it's got a pedestal at the bottom here too, but this is the frame that's used. It comes unfinished, like unfinished wood, just like what I make. So I've already put brie wax on there. It's a pretty Tudor Rose brie wax. It's so pretty. It's gonna be so pretty. I just have to put it together. That's it. Just have to put it together. But, so this is another one of those things like, well, I finished this in August, so I should have finished it for Christmas this past year, but I didn't. It'll be done for this year. Yeah, that's right. Saying it now. All right. Next is, and the brie wax that I mentioned, I'll put a link to Amazon down below. But it's gorgeous. Y'all see how pretty that is. But I'm going to use brie wax on a lot of my designs too. So I'm stocking up. Okay. So the next one is another glass one. So sorry about the ring light. I'll try and fix that for next time. But this is, let's see. This is Rocky Mountain Quaker. It is from the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. Very pretty. This was my first Quaker, I think, that I had ever done. I don't know, but I don't think Quakers were a thing back in the day when I was stitching, so this was actually a lot of fun. I love the mountains. I used to be a beach girl until I lived in Florida for too long, and then I moved back and I appreciated the mountains a lot more. So, let's see. I started this June 21st and I finished it August 23rd. So, that's not bad. This is on 36 count sand by Picture This Plus. You can see it's a pretty neutral. And I did actually change all the floss. I don't even remember what was called for, but I wanted to try out Forbidden Fiber Co. So I switched all of them. It's only 4 colors, so it was pretty easy to switch. But I love how it turned out. So those are pretty. I'll put those in the show notes to see what colors I chose. And the last thing, the frame, this is just from Hobby Lobby. So good old frame. Wait for those sales and then grab them. Okay. Next. Oh, y'all, this one. I can't even. Okay, so my mom and I fell in love with this at Accents and Stitches in Louisiana. We saw it worked up, which I'm going to post a picture because you're not going to get an idea of what this is really. But you will from the picture. Okay. Let's just, yep, good enough. All right. This is Sunflower Farm Stacker by Praiseworthy Stitches. I'll show you this because this will give you a better idea. But the picture on this is horrible, honestly. I have all the sections done, but I'm just going to show you the front ones because seeing there are 6 sections to every, like to the top, to the middle, and to the bottom. So 18, 6 times 3 is 18 pieces. So I'm just going to show you the front. Look at his face, it's so cute. And that was a lot more stitches than what it looks like. His little vest. And I went a little crazy on the color on the bottom, but I think it's going to turn out phenomenally. So, that was a lot of fun. It is not fully finished. I was going to send it off and get her to send it to their finisher. But I not only bought this scarecrow, I also bought a snowman. And like a Christmas one that's like a Christmas tree or something. My mom bought Uncle Sam for 4th of July, and they just came out with a black cat for Halloween. So I'm not gonna get those fully finished. It's too expensive, honestly. But also I have grand plans. Mom and I went to Hobby Lobby and we just started picking up things to like put it together and everything. So we really do have grand plans. She's the sewer. She feels very confident, with a sewing machine. She used to sew for the public when I was growing up. I am not a sewer, so our trade-off, well, not really trade-off, I guess, but part of it is I think she's going to sew all of the pieces together. I'm gonna stuff it and put the dowel rod in there and everything. But we came up together with like a sort of like a stand to put it on, and to where it's gonna have like I don't know, like a not really a background, but like stuff with it. So we came up with an interesting way to do the hat and to do all of the straw around it and everything like that. So it's gonna be fun, but we both kind of realized that it's gonna be a task. So we're postponing that a little bit. Anyways, sorry if you hear some of my magnets. That's all that is. Okay, so that's, like I said, that's a task. We'll see. The fabric that I use for that, though, it's a 16 count because some of them we didn't find the right colors, so actually I switched between 16 and 32 count. But it should work out. It's all Picture This Plus. My top, I'll show you. My top is sugar cream pie. The middle is mocha swirl and the bottom is juniper. So, very pretty. Grand plans, I'm telling you. Okay. The next one is part of a series. So this is the Garden Variety series by Primrose Cottage. This is the sunflower one. It's the first one that I started. I started it September 22nd. And this was a stitch along with my mom and Chris and Victoria from Stitchy Fix. And if you haven't watched them, you should. They're amazing and so much fun. So I started it September 22nd, and I actually finished this September 30th, so that didn't take me too long. It is on 32 count Lugana Honey by Bestitch Me, and I got that fabric from the Fabric of the Month Club in January of 2025. I think she sells honey as like a normal color, but I'm not sure. The 8th finish that I have is Plentiful Harvest by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I started it on September 20th, 2025, and I finished it on November 7th. It's stitched on 32 count Lugana Honey by Bestitch Me. The floss, I pretty much changed everything, so I'll list that into the description, and the frame here is from Hobby Lobby. The next one that I finished, I also don't have. It is a Christmas piece that is packed up right now. So it is Snapshot Santa by Shannon Christine. And it was part of her, I'm part of her monthly sub club, and it was one of the charts for July. She does like in her monthly club, she does a main chart every month, and then she also does a Christmas chart on the 25th and a Halloween chart on the 31st. So you get at least 3 charts per month for being in her club. So it's been a lot of fun. I just joined it last year, so yes, lots of fun, cute designs. So I'll insert a picture of the Snapshot Santa here. I started it October 8th, and then I finished it November 10th. That took me way too long for a small piece like that, but I'm not a monogamous stitcher, so I was definitely stitching on other things. And it's actually stitched on a 28 count Jubilee Hunter Green by Zweigert. That was a scrap piece of fabric that I got from a long time ago at the cat show. So that was fun. And then I bought the gold frame at Hobby Lobby. Yeah, and I just framed it right up. It was perfect. All right. So now we're going to finish out that Garden Variety series, right? So this is the full Garden Variety. It's by Primrose Cottage. Look at that pretty honey color of the fabric. I think it turned out really pretty. Okay, yep. So all of those were done between, or the last 3 were done between like November 13th and 18th. So 18th? 13th and 28th. So I stitched those up really fast. And my plan for finishing them is I got this from Hobby Lobby, just in their wood pile section, and it's perfect. It has four circles on it, and they're gonna fit great. And actually I already know this because my mom did this and it turned out great. So I'll just use some of that brie wax again. But yeah, this is wood pile, and I'll hold it up so you can get the number if you want. But yes, Hobby Lobby. So, and I haven't decided, these are easy enough to put like magnets on and, you know, do a round flat finish on the piece, put a magnet on the back, and then you can interchange these if you want. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet or not. So we'll see. To be determined. And all right, so that was that. Now we're at 12. That was 12. The 13th finish that I have, it is Snow Globe Cookie Small. That's what it's called, by Shannon Christine. It was a freebie on her Facebook page. So if you follow her on Facebook, a lot of times she'll put freebies out, especially she likes to do it for Christmas. So she put out quite a few, but this one was, it wasn't from 2025. I think it was from 2023. Maybe it was an old one. I had to look back. But my mom, Chris and Victoria again, like I said, we kicked it right off. So we started this style on November 29th together, and I finished it the very next day, November 30th. It was amazing. I think that's the first time that I've ever done that before. So I was very happy. So it was stitched on 18 count antique white Davosa. I don't know what that means, but it's by Zweigert, and it was another one of those small little scraps that I had from the cat show. So it was perfect. And then the red and white frame that you'll see it in, that's like an ornament kind of thing, it's actually from my mom's stash. She had those and she was like, oh, let me just, here, y'all have these. So that was like a perfect finish. So yes, but I will insert a picture, and it was super cute. The last finish, so this is number 14, is, let me get this. I like Primrose a lot. This is Cocoa Quaker by Primrose Cottage. And I started this September 25th of last year. Mom and I had the brilliant idea of getting their Sip and Stitch box. I believe it was the year before, in 2024, but we hadn't stitched any of them yet. So we made up our own like Primrose Cottage Christmas bag. It has all 3 charts from the Sip and Stitch the year before, plus like 4 other projects. So there's 7 projects in there. And so we're making our way through those. We thought we were going to have them done by last Christmas. That didn't happen. Nope, not at all. But anyways, this was my first one out of that bag that I got done. So I really like it. Quakers are fun. And Primrose Cottage patterns are fun. So I finished this on December 19th. It was good old Christmas stitching. And this is on 32 count Lugana Sand. Oh, Sand Dollar, sorry. Sand Dollar by Bestitch Me. Pretty. I like that one. Alright, so 14 projects finished last year. That's pretty good. I worked a lot the first half of the year, and so I was super busy, did a lot of different stuff, life stuff, whatever. But so the last half of the year, I got 14 projects done. Also, I was focused on Hedwig the first part of the year, so that's a big thing. But I like a challenge. I don't know how this started, but my family, we like doing challenges, especially my mom and dad. So a lot of times we have like family challenges and stuff, and they're always typically fun, right? So, I mean, yeah, you have work challenges and life challenges and stuff like that, but I'm talking about fun challenges. So I had 14 finishes last year. My mom and I, are there any other, mother-daughter duos out there that love stitching together? Because maybe you want to join in on this. This is crazy. We're crazy, loco, everything. But this is what I'm thinking. Last year I had 25 starts and 14 finishes. And I'm thinking, now I have to tell her age, and she said that I could, so it's okay. You've heard about, doing as many starts as your age. Well, my mom she's turned 64 this year. And I was like, oh, you should start 64 projects. And she's like, no, you first. So I was like, well, but I'm only 38, or I'm going to be turning 38 this year. So that's not fair. So what we're doing instead is we're both starting 64 projects because my mom is turning 64 this year. And we're going to finish 38 this year. So it's taking my mom's birth date age and my age and combining it into one big fun challenge. Crazy challenge, yep. But it's going to be fun. So that's what we're doing. Well, I've committed to it. I think she's doing it. We'll see. But anyways, if you would like to join in, we would love to have you join in. It's just like a fun little mother-daughter thing to do together. So far this year, because we're already in February, right? So far this year, I have 6 starts and 4 finishes. So I'm well on the way. Yep. Anyways, I also have 25 whips. And I realized that normally the first thing that you see out of somebody for an introduction is their whip parade. I'm doing it weird. I'm doing it my own way. I did a finish parade. So would you like to see a whip parade? I only have a couple that are like super old, but I do have some big pieces. I have some very big pieces, and I have some smalls, of course, too. Like, it's a mix. I mean, you kind of maybe saw with my finish parade here that I do kind of like to stitch a little bit of everything. I'm not so much a sampler person, or prim type thing. I like color. I like vibrant. As you can see behind me, like, all of these are very bright and colorful pieces too, so I like a lot of color. But anyways, if you would like to see a whip parade, let me know. That might be what's coming next. And I would love to know if there are any mother-daughter duos that would like to join in on the crazy and start, you know, the number of projects that the mom is in her age, and then finish, hopefully finish, yes, the number of the daughter. So that would be cool. I would really appreciate for you to subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know that you're here, and it is so nice to be a part of this wonderful community now. I'm excited. I'm super nervous, but I'm excited to be here and, you know, join in on all the stitchy fun and whatnot. And I would also like for you to hop over to Etsy and take a look at my shop, and maybe hit me like a little heart follow button. And if there are any items over there that that you really like, go ahead and favorite them. I would love to see what your favorites are over there. You don't have to purchase, like, that's fine. I just want to know, like, what do you like? What would you like to see more of? So anyways, it was great to put out my first floss tube. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.